All right, we're recording. Yay. Hey guys. I'm so excited about this. I've been kind of just compiling little tips that I've thought about and things like that. And I thought, I know that we all get so like, oh, it's the last week of the month, or oh, I've only got this many days, but there is so much that can be done in 4 days. And I know that sounds cheesy, and I know everybody says that all the time, but really, Facebook and social media is just so effective. And that's one thing I love about the business that we're in. Oh, well, okay. Hi. Let me introduce myself. My name is Amanda Hurst. I've been with Modere now since April. So it's been like 5 months, right? 4 or 5. Yeah. So, which is crazy. It feels like a lot longer and it feels like a lot less at the same time. Have been doing network marketing for 3.5 years now, and would not change a thing of how I came to stumble upon this opportunity and all the success our team has had. So I've literally fallen in love with this compensation plan, with the company, with our leadership, and especially these products. And so I'm really, really excited to just have this opportunity for all of us to have our hands on something so great that is helping so many people, including our own families. So like I said, I've been compiling a bunch of tips, and one thing that I love about specifically how this company operates and does things is that they are so heavy on social media, which sometimes can be a little scary, but the alternative is having to wait to constantly be meeting up with people for coffee dates, or being in someone's living room having a party, or all this. And so you can be so effective through the internet with in such a little amount of time that I think I did not want to put this off until the beginning of the month, because a lot of these things we can implement right away. So if you don't already, get a pen, get a notebook, because I wrote down notes for myself, which means I probably will speed talk through them, but feel free to use the chat function if you want me to clarify something or you have a question. And then when we kind of go through everything, we can just unmute, and if anybody has any other questions about anything or, whatever it is. So, I wanted to touch on 3 different things tonight. The first thing is just general Facebook tips, kind of like what to post, when to post, how to get more interactions. We could probably talk for 2 hours about that, but I just kind of compiled some of, I think, that are the most like pertinent sort of basic things, and then there's sort of nuances you can learn on from there. I also wanted to go over specifically what I do for signing up customers, like from when I get a message or start talking to them to, hey, I just put my order in, and like what that looks like. I actually pulled up a couple customer conversations so I can actually I'll screen share and show you what it looks like, and follow up and stuff like that. And then I also just wanted to talk about too, a couple of things to feel like, even if you're brand new or you haven't had the success that you like right away when you started your business, how to still operate it confidently, like you're a total, I don't want to cuss, but like bad butt. Okay. So I'll start with the Facebook tips that I wrote down. So we're just going to dive right into it. Now, I know some people like Instagram, like Twitter. I use Instagram literally just to post pictures of my kids. That's not my niche. But Facebook is definitely my jam, and this company has, with their ad tag message system, really heavily utilizes Facebook. So that's why I kind of focus on that so much. But there's a lot of resources out there if Instagram is your thing, if face-to-face is your thing. So there's no point in there's nothing wrong with learning other ways to grow your business, but I am a firm believer in focus on your strengths and really just focus heavily in one area. So we're going to talk about Facebook a little bit tonight. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what my posting schedule looks like and why that is. So what I do is first thing in the morning, I post either something motivational, a quote, or something that's funny, like something that people just kind of is like a kind of a fluff post, whether it's a little funny meme. And you guys, you do not feel like you have to be this creative social guru. I literally will Google in the morning Grey's Anatomy memes, Gilmore Girls quotes, quotes about failure. I use Google. Some people use Pinterest. I use Google, and I'm just like, funny Monday memes. Like, it's not creative content at all. I totally Google, and that's where I find my stuff. Okay. So in the morning I post something that's kind of motivational, funny, just something that gets people just kind of connecting on my Facebook page. Around lunchtime, that's when I post about my business. So I'll post a before and after picture And I find those either in the M3 Pledge community or the Simple Clean Results group. If you aren't in either of those, send me a message after this and I'll make sure you get added in there. Because if someone's posting in there, unless they specifically say on their testimony post, please do not share this, it's fine for you to use their results. And it's funny because when I post a before and after picture, I'll say, oh, look at my friend Sarah. Everyone on Facebook is my friend, even if they're not my friend in real life. So everyone's your friend, right? Look at my friend so-and-so, right? So that's, it makes it more personal that way. And the other nice thing too is I've had this happen to me before where someone questioned me about their results, like, oh, what did they do for exercise or whatever? And I went back to where I found the post from and I messaged that person and she answered me right away. And I was able to message my friend and say, oh, hey, she worked out. Actually, she walked 3 nights a week around her neighborhood. So it really gives credibility to, I didn't just Google these results. So that's where I find them. And I do that around lunchtime. And part of the reason I do that is because people will continue to see that then throughout the day. So, and I don't usually do it first thing in the morning only because, I don't know. That's just for me personally. I haven't had the same success as I have with posting it midday. In the afternoon, like afternoonish, I'll post a personal post. I'll post a picture of my kids. I'll post a picture of what I am eating, what I had for lunch that day. I'll post a picture of my messy kitchen. I'll post something about like me, real life, something. And I will say too, sometimes I alternate, like I'll interchange at lunchtime doing a personal post and then midday, like 3, 4 o'clock doing the before and after. So I always do it kind of in the middle chunk of the day. I leave the morning and the evening for like motivational, funny stuff like that. That being said, in the evening, I usually will do a post about the business, a motivational post, or that's when I do my live videos. For me, I have the most success doing live videos between 8 and 9:30 p.m. I've done a lot of trial and error, and that's for me personally. Now, everybody has a different network. For you, it might be first thing in the morning, it might be lunchtime, it might be whatever. So I usually try to do my live videos in the evening. And usually there's something to do, something motivational, whatever I've maybe done for personal development that day. And I've said this before, but you guys, same thing kind of with that morning post. When I do a live video about the fear of failure or about not caring what people think about, or something, motivational live video, it's usually just something that I have Googled an article about motivation for entrepreneurs, or I've YouTubed something from Oprah or Eric Worre or Tony Robbins, and I watch it, and then I just take notes and I do the live like I'm sharing the content. Now, if it's a direct quote or something, of course, I'll give credit to Oprah, my girl, right? But it's not something that I am this muse of knowledge. It's literally from something else that I've watched or seen that spoke to me, and then I just kind of reiterate it to my Facebook following. So don't feel like you have to originally come up with all of these things that inspire the whole world. That's why that content is out there, and you're just the vehicle to share it. So I do that in the evening. So yeah, I don't want to go, I said all of it again. So the biggest thing, and I wrote this down, is no matter what you do, just want to do it consistently. Even if you don't have a before and after picture already ready that you've found, or you haven't, planned out a post or whatever. For me, it's just post something at least 2 to 3 times a day, because that's how people are going to see you in their feed, even if it has nothing to do with the business. And if someone's watching this that's new or watching this on the recording later, I think this probably goes without saying because it's in like all of our training materials, but the reason that we don't post the name of the company isn't because we're ashamed of it. It's because that gets people curious and it gets them asking you, what is that you're doing? What is it? I'm dying to know. I still get people all the time that will message me like, oh my God, I'm just dying to know what you're doing. And it gets a conversation started where I've not sent one cold message since I started this business, because people are coming to me because I'm not giving it to them. I'm like dangling the carrot. And when they message me, I'm happy to tell them all the information they want to know. I don't keep anything secretive. I just don't put it public so that they have to get in my inbox to know what it is that I'm doing. But the big thing, again, is just consistency, is getting people to just see that you're active on Facebook and remembering you. It's not necessarily that you have to be posting I think I think you should post a before and after picture every single day, but it's really about people seeing you every single day and being connected with you, so that when you do post a before and after, when you do say something about how the business is, what it's doing for you, they're like, oh my gosh, Amanda is so funny. I'm really curious what she has to say. Or, oh my gosh, I know that she struggled with this or that. I want to know what product she's using that's working for her. You know what I mean? So really, as long as they're excited to talk to you, that's the big thing. And then I want to talk a little bit about the algorithms, which is like dun dun dun. What I mean by that is, I don't know if you guys realize this, you might notice it now that we're talking about it, but you could have, say you have 1,000 Facebook friends, say you have 500 Facebook friends, you're only going to see 25%, if that, of those people actually in your specific newsfeed. And the people that you're seeing in your newsfeed are the people that are also seeing you. So for example, say you always see your best friend, you always see your sister, your mom, your boss in your newsfeed. Those are like the main people you see. Those are the main people that are seeing your stuff. So your friend from high school that could really use these products, or your neighbor down the street, if you don't actually interact with them on Facebook, they aren't going to be put into your newsfeed. So, the one thing, a lot of these tips I've just acquired over time from other people's videos, but I learned this, that in order to count as an interaction with them, you have to comment at least more than 3 words. So instead of saying like cute on someone's picture, post, that is so cute, oh my goodness. You know what I mean? Because the Facebook doesn't sense it if it's less than 3 words long, if that makes sense. So just try to make it longer things. Now, I love doing little GIFs on people's comments, because it just gets a laugh. And if someone is liking your reply to a comment, or something like that, that gets an interaction. So I love posting little funny GIFs or something like that. And that will get an interaction as well. The other thing is, messages are a huge part of that algorithm. So if you're actually private messaging someone, it's more effective than just commenting on their Facebook post. And what I like to do is, every morning I look and see whose birthday it is on Facebook that day, and I send them a private message, and I say, hey girl, happy birthday. And I usually send a funny little GIF. Like my favorite one is Honey Boo Boo, and she's like this. If you type party or celebrate or birthday or whatever, a bunch of funny little memes come up, and I love to just say like, hey, happy birthday. And then it gets, a lot of times they'll say thank you, and I'm like, you're so welcome, how are you doing? And it just starts a great conversation. I don't bring up my business at all, but a lot of times people actually bring it up to me, and they say it's or they'll say, it's great, how are you doing? And I'm like, oh, doing awesome, new baby, new business, because for me, a lot of my Facebook following half of them probably think I still sell It Works from months and months ago. So I'm just like, I got a new baby, new business, everything's awesome, what's new with you? And I just kind of organically have a conversation. Sometimes they just say thanks and don't respond to me. And sometimes, like today, I ended up chatting with a friend from high school for a long time I hadn't talked to in a while. So, and that is simply just conversation to connect, and in turn, they're going to be in your newsfeed more for those algorithms and stuff like that. The other thing is, when you do live videos, Facebook Lives, you guys know how I feel about that. Facebook Lives are like, bring so many people into your world and your connections. And it really just helps them to see, like, you're not just a copy pasted poster person. You know what I mean? It can totally just be a live of you chatting with your kid. I love Cody's video with her pigs. Like, it's just them kind of getting to know you. And the one thing a tip I learned from, I think it was that Sarah girl, was when people comment on your post, on your live, go back the next day and reply to those comments, like not right away. Like, so for example, last night I did a pretty heavy live video about my story from start to finish. And I got like 50 some comments about it. And I went back the next day and replied, thank you so much. That means so much to me. You're so sweet, whatever. And I replied to those comments, because anytime that you comment on something on Facebook, it pops up in people's newsfeed like, oh, Amanda replied to a comment, or, you see that sometimes in there. The other thing too is Facebook senses the posts that get a lot of comments and a lot of interactions. Facebook kind of, this is probably not the technical IT way of describing it, but Facebook sees that and is like, oh, people like this and people want to see this, so we're going to put this in more people's news feeds. So whether it is something about your business or the product, or like last night, I don't think I mentioned anything one time, I just kind of shared my story. So go back the next day, and that's going to keep Facebook seeing that this post is worth sharing. You know what I mean? And then I think I wrote down one more thing. Oh, at night, I like to post a question, and Amanda Morris shares this all the time, an either or question, Pepsi or Coke, Rugrats or Hey Arnold, like just some kind of like generic thing. And you guys can Google either or questions, and there's a bajillion of them, or just something really like something you really want to know about. Like I posted something yesterday that was like, I'm trying to sleep train my kid in the crib. Give me all the tips. And I got like 60 something comments on it. So just something that people are going to really comment and interact with. I personally like to do those at night so people can be commenting overnight, because if you do it first thing in the morning or during the day, you're kind of competing with yourself for posts. And I know this is kind of technical. I promise this will be more fun in a second. But what I mean by that is say you have 4 Facebook posts throughout the day, right? And you post your motivational quote in the morning or something, before and after photo, a live video, and a whatever. And you have 2 things going on that are getting a lot of heavy interaction. Facebook is like, I don't know which one to post. This one is good, but this one is good. So Facebook isn't going to put 2 posts of yours right at the top of people's news feeds at the same time. So I like to post that interactive post at night, because then say I had a really great before and after photo of mine or something that I shared in the afternoon. Facebook is not going to take away from that, because this was the interactions are happening at a different time. So I hope that's just the reason behind why I do it at night. Okay. All right. And the last thing, just specifically about Facebook, I personally think it's important to have a few like niche products that you like. I don't know if you guys have flipped through our catalog. I mean, it's a freaking, first of all, it looks really classy. It's awesome, right? Like, but there's so much stuff. If we tried to post about every single one of these products all the time, people would be just super overwhelmed. So for me personally, and you can write this down, I think the 3 main things that I think everybody should just learn and focus on, because it'd be super overwhelming to try to learn about everything. I don't know about everything, is obviously M3, Trim, and BioCell. Like those are like the 3 main ones, right? That's really unique to Modere. People have amazing results on it. And it, brings us in a great income as well. And people love it. But the other thing, aside from those 3 products, I think it's a good idea to find 3 other ones that you really just enjoy for yourself, whether it's something from the skincare, whether it, like for me, I just started using that aloe cleanse, and it tastes really good. I love it. I posted about it. I post about the probiotics a lot, and I've been loving the skin ID, like the skin stuff. And the reason for that is you can, something that people will remember you for that. Like, even though like the aloe, first of all, costs $20, it's only 10 if they use the coupon, right? So that's something that is really easy for people to be like, oh, what is it? I'm like, here's my link. It's like literally today I had 2 people buy the aloe thing because I posted about it on Instagram, and it was just easy for me to send a link and share, So find a couple things that are outside of those 3 products, obviously, because that gets people kind of looking at the website and seeing that it's more than just a weight loss company. Because even though, to me, I feel like we have some of the most successful weight loss testimonies out there that last, and, being able to be backed up by that money back guarantee is huge. But, there are some things that people love. Like I don't know if she's on right now, but I always think of Caitlin Long and those laundry pods. Like I'm a distributor, and I think of her when I order them. You know what I mean? So even though that's something that's so simple, it gets people interested in what you're doing and the product line. And so I'm sure all her friends think about her with like the laundry pods. You know what I mean? So just find a couple things. And with the product credit we get every month, I've been able to try so many different things. So take advantage of that and find things you like. And the reason I'm saying that with Facebook is because if you try to post like a product a day or something, people are going to forget about it. But by the time you've posted about, collagen 3 times throughout the week, by Friday, your inbox is going to be like, all right, girls, tell me about this collagen. But after one time, people might not remember to do it or whatever. So it's just a reminder. And the other thing I do with Facebook, and then I'm going to talk about the conversations and stuff. I don't have it sitting right here because I was working at my kitchen island earlier, but I have a notebook. I have one notebook for people that have directly messaged me about products, like have asked me specifically, and I write their names down, and that's like my follow-up notebook. And then I have a second one that I use for people that haven't necessarily come to me, but that I've sort of interacted with. Because I don't know about you guys, and not all of us came over from the same company that I did, but one of the things that I was taught before was if somebody liked your post, you automatically sent them a private message and said, hey girl, thanks for loving my post. Have you heard of Hair, Skin, and Nails? Do you want to try it? I'm doing a 30-day challenge, whatever. And that turned off a lot of people. And so people actually stopped liking my stuff because even if they just liked it, they knew I was going to bombard them with a message. And I hated doing that. So what I've been doing now is that second notebook I have, when someone does like a post, I just jot their name down. So I kind of become intentional with interacting with them on Facebook without pitching the products necessarily. So I'll just, comment on something we can relate on, whether for example, one day this girl liked my post yesterday, and I try to do it within 48 hours. So I don't they like something and I immediately go blow them up on their Facebook. You know what I mean? I try to do it within the next day or so. And she had some really cute clothes for her kid that, I was like, where did you get that? And we started talking about where she shops for her kids' clothes or whatever. And she messaged me yesterday about the collagen. So later today about the collagen. So it's just kind of, I keep a little notebook when someone likes something, rather than instantly sending them a message. I just jot it down. So that's kind of like a list of people for me to get to know better or connect with, whether it's sending them a message, just saying, hey, or actually interacting on their Facebook wall and stuff. So that is that with Facebook. So I told you guys I would actually show you nitty gritty how from start to finish with signing up a customer. So let me slide my thing over, because I pulled up a couple. I went through my customer pod and I tried to find some conversations that actually would be an actual, a good example of a conversation, not somebody that's just okay, yep, I'll buy it, done. But kind of how I explain it. And then I'm going to copy and paste in here for you now. I use the same explanation all the time for M3. And I'll copy and paste that in here so you guys can either save it, or I'll show you where to find it, because I actually got it from the Boss Nation Facebook group. And I just have it saved in the notes section of my phone. And when someone asks me for specific details, I copy and paste it rather than typing it out every single time. So let me screen share here my Facebook. Don't take anybody's credit card information. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So hold on. I pulled up. Okay. So Jennifer Patterson. So we met through a mom Facebook group. Okay. And she commented, I did a Facebook post that was drop an emoji below if you want information or whatever. Right. So she dropped an emoji below, and you could see what I messaged her. I didn't blow up right away. So she said 2 months postpartum. So here is the script that I used, but you see how I added at the top, because obviously we both were in a mom group. So we both have just recently had kids. So I kind of added my own, I'm a human. So I had a human conversation, and then I used this script. I will copy and actually let me pull up my notes here. Okay. Sometimes I will, for this one, I just I don't know why I shortened it a little bit, but I'll copy and paste this into I can't do it while I'm screen sharing. I'll do it after. So, but this is it. And this I found from if you go into files or documents in the Boss Nation group, it's M3 scripts, and that's in there. And I always add this at the end, because I think sometimes people, if they don't read it, but when I say this, they're like, oh, what's the novel? I want to read it. And they immediately open it and read it. It's just, it's just something I've noticed. So, I love how it says at the end, does that sound like something you can work into your routine? So she was saying she already drinks a ton of water. Great. So she didn't actually ask me about the price. So I just kind of dove right in. And again, this is in that script section too. I always use this. Sometimes I tweak it a little bit depending on what people ask me or if we've talked about trim already or something like that. And this is one that came from Amanda Morris's group. So I use this same one. And then she's like, okay, M3 plus trim. So that's what I'm doing now too. So what I do when I close, I always say, do you want me to send you the info that I need to put it in? Or do you want to do it on the website? Whatever's easier for you. Like I always say that. And I know, like, I'll just preface this by saying that everyone has their own way of doing things. So there's no right and wrong way. This is just what I do, because I know Amanda, our other Amanda Morris leader, loves to put the information in for them. That way she knows she has it, she knows they're serious, and she knows that it's going to get in there and the order is going to go through. For me personally, I love for people to actually look at the website. Our website is so nice. It's so like sleek and professional. And I've had a lot of times where people have gone on there too to get M3 and they ended up ordering a probiotic, or they ordered like the BioCell with it, like ordered more stuff. So I personally, if someone's ready to do it, like for this conversation, I have no problem having them do it themselves on the website. Now, I will say, if I've followed up with someone for like months and months and months, and they're like, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, perfect. I'm going to send you the information I need, because I never know if I'm going to, hear from them again, but that's kind of few and far between. So, she asked, does it send automatically each month? I said it, they do send it, but it's just for convenience. You aren't required to order for any minimum amount of time. I'll send you the link. It gives you free shipping, because you guys know anything over $75, us and our customers get free shipping. And then I tell her where to find it. So I'll show you guys a trim conversation here in a second too. And I always tell them it's either on the homepage, or if it's trim, I say it's under collagen sciences. So then we talked about burn or whatever. And she ordered right then and there. I had another one. No, where was it? Let me look up. I'm trying to think who's ordered trim for me recently. Oh, here's a good one. This is a good one, I guess. So she did M3. I'm going to try, because she's been using it and loving it. She did a referral post for me too. Okay. So this was someone and I'm in a mom's group that allows you on like Sundays to post your business stuff. And so she commented on the post I did in the mothers group. Okay, so I did the add tag messaging. I added her into the group, tagged her. That was May 8th. May 9th, I tried to reach back out. You could see like in her comments, she wasn't really responding, wasn't feeling it. This was in May. We started talking about living in Cincinnati, about my friend, talked about whatever. So then she was talking about struggling with eating. I related to her with my eating disorder. So we had a conversation. She had medical concerns. Okay, I'd like to order your products the next check. Okay, so now I remember her because she messaged me right after I posted a before and after picture. We talked about her medication. Sorry, guys, I can't remember the other person I was going to pull up, but we talked about caffeine. And when you guys have questions like this come up, that's why we have Voxer and why we have our Facebook message chat. So like, if you don't know the answer, like I've had this asked to me before, so I already knew it, but you can totally shoot us a message, be like, hey, someone's asking me about caffeine. So everyone learns it at some point. So I only know this because I had to ask at one point. Okay. So she said she was actually going to wait to order it. And then August 7th, she messages me again after I posted a before and after and said, if you still sold the M3. I do. I'm loving it. We asked about the price. Something like, absolutely, we can afford it. And the next day she said she wanted to order whatever. So that's her card information. I'll post that there. I'll turn this part off for just a second, and then I'll pull up a trim one. So the thing, guys, I will be honest with you. When I go and follow up with people, I just say to them, hey, how are you doing? Like I rarely will go back through and say, hey, are you ready to get the M3? Just not, it's not natural to me anymore. It's just, I feel like I haven't had a lot of success with it. But when I start conversations with people and I just say, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? They may not even bring it up, but I tell you what, because I'm consistent with the before and after pictures, within a couple of days of me posting something, they'll be like, oh, hey, I meant to tell you, I want to get that stuff now. So I don't have a lot of examples of like follow-up posts because I just have natural conversations and I'm consistent with posting pictures and information about the stuff. So I do feel like if I didn't actually reach out and talk to people and have a connection with them, that they may not message me when I post those before and after pictures. You guys, everyone is selling something on Facebook nowadays. So it's not what you have, it's who you are. I mean, it is what we have. Our stuff is awesome. So that helps a little bit. but my follow-up stuff is really just, hey, how are you doing? I have one that I could pull up for you guys, but I don't know if you want to see me just scroll through because it was someone that I had a long conversation with about ingredients and whatever. But from April when we started, she messaged me asking what I was doing, and she didn't order until the end of August. Okay. And so that's why I don't want to go through and show you that whole conversation, but a lot of it is just, hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? You guys, she ordered BioCell and Trim when she ordered. So, and she's loving it. So but I talked to her to death about her sports injury, about her crazy allergy to some kind of sugar something. We talked for forever, and I legitimately just had a conversation. Now you might be thinking to yourself like, okay, well, I don't have all day long to just literally spend my life scrolling through Facebook and like talking to people. That's why I literally set aside time while I'm scrolling through Facebook. I'll make it like a game for myself, and I will be like, all right, the next 10 things that come up in my newsfeed, I'm going to comment on some kind of something. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll comment something on it. So if it's something about somebody's kids, if it's something about a restaurant they're eating at, people love to post about their food. I'll say, oh my goodness, that looks so delicious. Where's the recipe? Or, something like that. So I'll just make it like a game for myself to find a way to connect with the next 10 posts that come up in my newsfeed, the next 20 posts. Cause it's so how easy is it to just scroll through Facebook and you feel like you see a million things. So that's how I start those connections. And then I really start my messages through those birthday posts, talking to people. And I will just be honest with you guys. I don't talk to them with the intention of telling them about the business or about the products, but it just comes up naturally if you're having a genuine conversation. And this might not be the magical answer that you want to hear, but I would so much rather talk to somebody just about their normal life and have them 2 weeks from then see a post that they relate to about a weight loss system or about something and have them then come to me than try to find a sly way to work the business into a conversation. So that's where it kind of can get frustrating, but when you're consistent with it and you start to see those results, that's why it doesn't bother me anymore when I talk to someone and nothing comes from it right away, because I've seen the actual results of people then coming to me like Vanessa did weeks later, and she's loving the products now. But I bet you if I had followed up with her every other Friday, hey girl, whatever, are you ready to get the M3? Like, I think it's important to follow up with. That's why I have that notebook of people that have expressed interest, because those are the people that I connect with first when I do go through and do that. But I don't go through and I'm like, are you ready to order? Are you ready to whatever? You know what I mean? So, but that's just who I know is already interested. And then the other connections are just, people that I want to connect to. So I hope, does that make sense? Ish. So I feel like we all want to have this magic, like, and I always ask when we're on Zooms, like, how do you transition the conversation into the business and the products? And I always get the same answer. But it is true. I always feel like maybe there's a magic thing I don't know about. It is all about just truly connecting with people. And if you do that consistently, that is where the revenue comes in, the people come to you, and that's what it's all about. So it may not be this quick instant, let me sign 3 customers tonight, but I promise you, if you sign people a couple weeks later when you've built that relationship, they're going to be a lot more happy ordering from you. They're going to keep ordering from you, and they're going to be excited to tell their friends about it. The people that have done referral posts for me and things like that, which we could get into another time because that's a whole nother thing, are people that I have built those relationships with. And so when they make a post for me, they're like, oh my gosh, you're going to love Amanda. She's so awesome. She's helped me so much. You know what I mean? And, but if I just signed a quick customer through, you know, I don't know that I'd have that same relationship. So that is that. Do you guys, have any questions about that before we move on? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, because I know that that's a lot of like specific stuff, or if you have like something you've been stuck on with someone or something. Anybody have anything you can think of? Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm trying to think too if there's another good conversation I had recently I can show you. But they're all, I mean, I was going to put that script in here in the chat section.
Amanda.
Yeah.
I did notice, because I use it too, but the that post, or that information you just posted in there.
Yeah.
To change the dollar amount, because that is when it was $20 off. If you look at it, it says $239. It's really $249.
You're right. I
think you had changed one. I think you changed just the M3, but not the M3 plus trim.
Yep, I'm copying that right now. Hold on. We changed it. So the first one is the product, and then there is the price one.
Yeah, there it is.
And I will say the one that goes over the price, depending on who I'm talking to, that I kind of tweak a little bit. I want it to seem natural, you know what I mean? Or sometimes people just ask about one thing or whatever. Oh, I know what I was going to show you, a trim post. Let me find one, because I've been kind of noticing that I've been using the same verbiage for trim. So I can copy and paste that in here for you guys if you want to see that too. Who has ordered trim for me recently? Hold on, let me screen share. Okay. Kristen Grad ordered for me. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. For some reason, my face is not on the spot that it usually is. Oh, there we go. I had to drag it over. Okay. Oh, we started talking about IUDs, so hold on a second. Okay, still with it works. All right. She bought some of my old wraps. Okay, she was trying to buy. Okay, here we go. September 7th. So she contacted me because I was posting about trim. Asked her about her wedding. You guys know the trim is a lifesaver. Never had a waist before this. I usually don't pull this many stops. Okay, so I'm going to find a different one for you in a second, but this is kind of, I usually say the CLA absorbs and depletes the fat cells while the collagen firms and shapes the skin. I can think of someone else I sent it to recently that I'll pull up and show you. So she asked if those were different products. The CLA, no, the trim has a collagen CLA blend. And then I mentioned about the BioCell. Okay, this is where she was talking about, longest period ever. We're all girls on this call, I think. So if you guys ever had a kid, the first one is the worst. Okay, so, okay. So then I kind of redirected. So I have a $10 off link for the trim. Would it be easier to send you the info I need or put it in for you? And then she ordered from It Works For Me before and had an auto ship issue. So I threw that in there. So I sent her the discount link. She sent me her order. All right, so that was that. So let me find another, because I've been sending longer things lately. And you guys, I will say this, I've sold a lot of trim lately because I've been doing a lot of live videos about them, and I get a lot of messages after the fact about trim. Okay, look, I've been low-key creeping on your progress. Since you're your son, caught the video on trim. What can you tell me about it? So I guess it really was just this kind of sort of thing. Basically, the blend has collagen and CLA. The CLA absorbs and shrinks the fat cells. I'll copy and paste this for you guys. To hydrate and for the skin so you tone while you lose. Do you have the link for? So this is pretty easy. Okay, and then I get this. People ask me this a lot about the effectiveness. I don't mean that for this to turn to a product thing, but just so you can kind of see how I respond to them. I tell people, I mean, you can read this. It's just a little belly fat. Other people, it takes 90 days. It's depleting the fat cells so they don't come back unless someone is actively gaining weight. She asked me about the Mediterranean diet. How long does a bottle last? Share the love credit. Okay. And so then she ordered, I'll see what this is all about. Okay. So whatever. So we talked about trim then. So I will, hold on. How do I get out of this screen share now? Oh, geez, Louise. Hold on. Stop share. There we go. Okay. So this is the thing I just said about trim, which is pretty short and sweet. And honestly, that little description says it all. And if people have more questions, they'll ask you and then go from there and kind of figure out. There's also a great video on YouTube. If you just search Modere trim, it's 2 minutes long. It's really easy to send if someone's really pushing you for information. Okay. So that is that. So that, I mean, and that, a lot of it happens on the back end, and you could see those people came to me, and that comes from like first thing we talked about just consistent Facebook posting. So yeah, that's that. You guys have any questions about anything else, like just in regards to messages and Facebook stuff or anything like that? If you can't think of them right now, we can unmute in a second, because I did want to just like speak some fire, because I was doing some really good personal development today about like how to confidently run your business and not give up and you know, all that fun stuff. So I wrote down a couple of notes here for myself, because I really haven't. If you guys aren't doing it daily, find a day to catch up, you know, to like maybe one day a week to look up this stuff, because this Amanda Morris posts pretty much every morning a video or an exercise or something that's for personal development. And that's where I get a lot of the ideas from my lives. And most of the time it's pretty short and sweet. So what they're posting is part of a 90-day challenge, but honestly, the stuff is just good content that her and 2 other leaders come up with every single day. So it's really good stuff. So the first thing I wrote down, some of this just has come from the stuff that's been posted recently. And I wrote down this quote because we hear it all the time, but I wanted to really talk about what it means when people say you need to choose what's hard for you. Because I think that sounds like such an easy quote. Well, choose your hard. But really, guys, a lot of people will say that maybe having your own business or doing this on the side is hard. But a lot of people would arguably say that clocking into a 9-to-5 job every day, sitting in traffic for forever, and like that's hard. So really, if you have a choice between 2 things that are going to be hard for you, which one would you rather do? Like choose the hard thing. Like what is going to give you a greater reward? And I just something to maybe journal about or think about, dwell about, pray about, whatever it is for you, because I think a lot of times we kind of write off that quote as just a really simple thing. But if you really think about, and then I kind of piggybacked it with this, when you feel like you're struggling in your business, or you feel like you're not having the success that you want to have right away, I want you to actually like take a pen to paper and write down all the reasons that you think it's hard for you. I don't have time. No one responds on my posts. I'm too nervous to do live videos. Whatever it is that you feel like is hard for you, I guarantee you, if you go through and start writing down the list, and you guys know I don't like being blunt like this or whatever, but I guarantee you those things that are actually hard are truly excuses that you're doing for yourself. And what's so different when you actually sit down and look at them and be like, this is why I'm not like having the success I want to have. Well, I can do this. I can get over, like, this is actually me. You know what I mean? And I've had to have those come to Jesus moments with myself. So it's just a really good exercise, make you think, to write down your excuses and look at them each step at a time. And what can I do to kind of tweak this for myself? What can I do to add 30 minutes to my day? Can I wake up a little earlier? Can I go to bed a little later? Can I record below deck, which is recording right now, instead of watching it live, right? So things like that. It really makes a big difference. And one thing I wrote down, and I think that it'd be awesome for all of us to do this, like we have that Boxer chat, we have our Facebook group message, so you know who's at least on our immediate team. But find a dream buddy, because I think a lot of times it's really easy. We talk about a dream board. We can talk about our why and things we want to do. But I think it is super fun and inspiring to talk to somebody else and actually hear from somebody else, and you tell them what your dreams are. Like I could sit here and say, I would love to be able to have all of my friends' kids that I know their moms can't afford Christmas for them, buy all of their Christmas. I would like all, I'm not going to go through every single thing, but it's really cool to tell somebody else that, because one, it holds you accountable. It makes you think of what you really want, and you get inspired by what other people want. And it really makes you see, like, there's a lot of things I want to do. And it makes it feel more normal to actually think about crazy stuff like that. And that's another thing I wrote down is you need to start being okay with wanting to be filthy rich. Like, that sounds silly, but you need, like, if I know for me, I don't know if you guys like saw my video last night, I did not come from a place in my life where I had a lot of anything. And so I would feel guilty saying, I want to travel, on a 10-day cruise around the Mediterranean. I want to buy this car for my husband. It was almost like a guilt thing. I'm like, that's really materialistic. That's really silly. But you guys, why the heck not? Like, why not? And like, really be okay with wanting, and not necessarily wanting stuff, not in a materialistic way, but like, what can it do for you? Like, it's not, I think the biggest thing to get over is associating money with greed, because I'm just going to keep it real. We wouldn't start this business if we didn't want to make money. We would just refer customers to the person that signed us up. Honestly, I mean, if you really didn't have a need to make money, you would just be a really great customer referrer to your friend. So you did this for a reason, and it might be $500 a month to pay your car payment, and that's great. But you guys, we are in such a unique company with such a unique compensation plan that there's no reason that you can't double, triple, quadruple what you're actually started for, because this company, you have to really try to not make money. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, everything is set up, everything is put in place that all we have to do is the actions. And I haven't seen anything that pays out better than this. It's why I chose this company to come to when I left, because I looked at a lot of different things and I was like, this is the best. As long as someone puts in the effort, does the work, you can't get paid better than this, And so, I want you to really just be, there's a really good book. I know Amber loves it, called, I'm going to cuss, but it's called You Are a Badass. I haven't personally read it, but it talks about that. It talks about, why do you feel like it's a bad thing to want to be wealthy? Because it doesn't mean that you're a shallow person. You could do a lot with money. You know what I mean? Like, I have a huge heart for giving back, and it kills me when I can't do the things I want to do for other people because of the money I don't have. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, this business pays our bills, but it allows me to not work. I still have a long way to go to do the extra things that I want to do. You guys know, like, I would literally probably buy everybody a car if I all right, contest, Lexa. I love buying stuff for people. And so it kills me when I can't do more than I want to do. So just because this has allowed me to quit my full-time job, we pay our bills, but I like doing stuff for other people. You know what I mean? That's my love language, is at least to give is gifts. And so, okay, that's irrelevant. What I'm trying to say is, start to be okay with wanting money, and don't let it become a desperation, but let it motivate you to be like, I do deserve this. This is going to be really fun when I can just hop on a plane and go to Kansas City with my team. This is going to be fun when I can just decide I want to take a week off work and go do this and not have to worry about the PTO. Like, think about what that means, not just I want, but what it will actually do for you, and be okay with getting excited about that, because that's why we're all here, is to be able to do those things. So be okay with wanting to be wealthy. Hold on. Okay. And then this kind of piggybacks on finding a dream buddy to literally talk about, okay, so we literally use me as an excuse. All right, so Amanda said I need to tell somebody all this stuff, crazy stuff I want to do. Let's talk about it. And then a really good thing I think to do is either with yourself in a journal, or with somebody else. So actually get it out of your own head and either onto paper or to somebody else, and talk about, even just once a week, whether it's a journal or whether it's a friend or accountability buddy that you're comfortable with, talk about what have I learned this week? Because that is going to hold you accountable to do personal development, because maybe you had a light bulb aha moment from watching a video. Maybe you learned something really cool about BioCell. Maybe you learned something awesome in the comp plan. Let that be the topic that you either check in with yourself about or check in with your buddy about, is what have I actually learned this week in terms of a product, business, or about myself and self-development. Another things you can talk about are things that you tried that worked, things that didn't work. I mean, I usually am pretty good about, in our Voxer group, if I find something that's working really well, I like to share it right away. But just let yourself reflect on the week a little bit, because that's how you really start to keep that momentum going. Because if you wait until the end of the month or the beginning of the month to assess your goals, and you're going to kind of get discouraged because so much time has passed in between the last time you checked in with yourself. So once a week, just kind of be like, all right, where am I at? What am I doing? Not once a month. I mean, I think it's awesome at the beginning of the month to set big goals, to put pen to paper. What do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to do to hit this rank? What do I need to do to get this paycheck? What do I, but, and that's great to do at the beginning of the month. But if you wait if that's the only time you're kind of assessing how it's going, like I said, either with yourself or with a buddy, with your upline, with your downline, if they're, your friends, with your sideline, whatever it is, someone that you can chat with and be like, how's this going? And sort of reflect and keep going. Because it's Zooms like this where you're probably going to get off the Zoom and be excited to use these Facebook tips, or excited to have these conversations, or to connect, or to talk about it. What was I'm going to have you guys all in our Voxer group. I would love to hear what your biggest kind of takeaway or the tip that you learned or what it is. And that's going to kind of get you excited to do those things. That's why I wish that none of us had 9 to 5 jobs so we could do this in the morning instead of at night, because now you're like, oh, I have to go to bed, but now I want to do all these things, right? If we did it in the morning, we could just go work. So the last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll actually be right at an hour, so I'm impressed that I didn't ramble on for too long. The quote that I wrote down, which this is something that I think all of us can apply to ourselves because we're doing this business, but it's a great quote to either go live about. I shouldn't even say either or. It's a great quote to go live about. No, or just to post and share on your Facebook. But it's from Michael Jordan, who I love. Space Jam. Just kidding. I think he played basketball or something. I'm just kidding. But it's a quote from Michael Jordan that says, I can accept failure. Everybody fails at something. What I cannot accept is not trying. So it is okay to not be good at something. If we were all good at everything, that's just impossible. But what he can't accept is not trying something. So it's fine if you try something and it doesn't work. Pretty much every time I try to run my business through Instagram, it's a flop. But, but I tried it, and so it's a great thing to go live about and to talk to people who, could use this or have been thinking about this or on the fence, but they are afraid they're not going to do well. Because listen, guys, did you know that even our business builder, our distributor enrollment kits, even they come with a money back guarantee? So say, someone is just really considering, wanting to try the business. What I've been doing was when I've talked to people about who can't get all the products right away, I'm like, hey, just start with M3. It's $40 more to be a marketer. And then you're going to get free product credit every single month to get everything else you want for free. And, so if someone's nervous about that, I say, listen, our money back guarantee applies to anything ordered ever. If in 30 days you don't love it, it's not for you, you can get your money back. So, that's something to go live about and share with people. What's the worst case scenario? I made a really good Facebook post when I was driving home the other day, kind of saying all the benefits that this company has brought to me compared to maybe other companies that focus on parties, that have certain commitments, things like that. I was like, so all of these things sound great on paper. What's the worst thing that can happen? You get to try some cool products and we get to hang out and be friends. I like to think I'm a pretty friendly person to chat with. You know what I mean? So, so not only for the people that you have that are considering doing this with you, but just for ourselves, I always say this about the end of the month. I will never be disappointed in myself if I know that I did everything that I could to reach my goals. If I decided to, it would be really easy for people to kick back right now. Like, you guys are all missing This Is Us. So if you're like in tears about it, I apologize. It's okay. You're here working your business. But like, that's what DVR is for. Okay. Watch it on the first. But like, so, you know, like if I know that I didn't just lay around doing nothing. That I tried, I'm okay with it. I really am, because there's nothing more that I could have done. Like, for example, you know, this business is my full-time income. And so Chris and I have to assess every month, all right, what's going to this, what's going here. And, you know, he sees me doing these Zooms, working my business on my phone, on Facebook Messenger all the time, you know, doing these things. And so if, say, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be or whatever, it's not, you know, we both know that I wasn't not trying, you know what I mean? So at least give yourself that credit. It's not that you should fall short if you don't hit those goals. It's that you can be comfortable in saying, I know that I did everything that I could, and now it's just going to be a matter of when, not if. Does that make sense? I hope that like didn't just kind of repeat myself over and over again. But so yeah, that's all I got. Do you guys have any questions or anything else that you know that you maybe thought of before? You can feel free to unmute yourself if you have any specific questions. I know sometimes it's like, you know, when you go to a job interview and they're like, do you have any questions? And then you're like, no. And then immediately you pull the parking lot and you're like, crap, I have 20 questions. So, you know, you can totally Vox in our group and ask the questions if you think about something. But, you know, you guys have all been on this call. I'm going to share the recording, so I hope everybody else will listen to it. So don't be shy, you guys. I think part of the reason I keep saying I'm going to stop talking and then I don't, but this will be it, I swear. I feel like a lot of the reason why I have been able to have so much fun with doing network marketing is that I am not shy to talk to people, not talking about like prospects. I am not shy to talk to my sidelines. I am not shy to talk to people on other teams, and I make great connections that way, like accountability buddies. Like, okay, you guys see the, like, Amanda posts like the top 30 of this and that. Like, I went through and I added a couple of the names on that list of people that are doing really well. I added them as Facebook friends, and I was just like, hey, I just want to introduce myself and say, hey, I just joined in April. I'm really loving it. I see you doing so awesome. I just wanted to introduce myself and say hi. I have had some of the best conversations with our sidelines on this team that don't know me from Adam. And it's given me a lot of light bulb moments. It's given me a great, like starting of relationships for accountability partners later on. You guys know, like, at least in the last company I was in, I had so many great, friendships. I guess I thought I did. But while I was working my business and, you know, all of that kind of stuff, I had a lot of great, and that was a lot of what kept me going, was having somebody other than my upline to talk to. And while I would love to be the end all be all person and solve everybody's problems all the time, I know that it takes a village, and I wouldn't be where I am without accountability from my sidelines. And so, you know, like, we can all like just put our hands in the pile and say, like, we're here to support each other. And so if someone reaches out to you, like, we can just put it out there. It's not weird. No one's creeping. We literally just want to all see each other succeed. So don't be shy to reach out to somebody either on Vox or Facebook and be like, hey, all right, I need to make accountability friends. What's up? You know what I mean? So let's just put that out there and not be shy about that, because that has been a huge part of my motivation in the business, is the connections and the relationships I've made. So that I didn't even write down. There's just a little tip for you. So I'm going to end the recording. If you have any questions, totally box them in there. And I would love for you guys to share something for all of the slackers that didn't watch live, a takeaway that you got from this, and I'll put the recording, because I know people have a life. I get it. I'm just obviously kidding, but I do want, would love for everyone on your team to be able to hear this and get these tips and everything. So encourage people to plug in tomorrow night. Amber DeLoof is doing an amazing call. She's going to have awesome tips too. So I know it's a lot back to back, but how awesome that we have all these resources, so definitely share your takeaways. I'll get the recording. I'll have it. It takes like overnight to download, so I'll have it in the morning. But yeah, thank you guys for jumping on. I'm excited about this. Don't pretend like it's not the end of the month. It's the first of the month, right? And implement these tips starting tonight. Post your question on Facebook. Post a quote funny thing in the morning. Like, start this as if it's a brand new month and you're going to continue on like there's not a timeline. And I guarantee you, I bet you, but by Friday, Saturday, people are going to start to take notice and you'll have a lot of great success. I do this full time, you guys. Yes, I do have a little bundle of joy that is not always so joyful. But if you're like, hey, I don't know, like, I'm not sure if I should post this. Do you think this is okay? Or what quote would you put with this? Or how would you describe this thing? Like, just fax me. Literally my phone is constantly on me. So, and if I don't respond back to you, send me a Facebook message, like, hey girl, I boxed you. Okay. Like, I will do it. That's why we're all here. So, all right, I really am going to stop talking now. I love you guys. Have an awesome night. Thanks for being on, and I'll talk to you.